Which shoe should you buy? Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. This week, I decided to do a which shoe should you buy video because I have a lot of really good shoes and you guys ask a lot of questions about what I can compare them to. Is this shoe better than this shoe? Should I get this shoe or that shoe? And hopefully today I can answer the question between the Asics Novablast 4 and the New Balance Rebel V4. Before we start comparing these two shoes, I do want to ask that you please subscribe to this channel if you aren't already. I'm trying to get to 20K subscribers. I'm almost there and any subscription helps. So if you could please go do that, I would super appreciate it. And while you're doing that, if you could also go follow me on Instagram, that's where I'm posting all of my running, shoe content, running content, live content, all the content. If one video a week for you on YouTube is not enough, go follow me over there. Now on the surface, before I really gave it some thought, I kind of figured these two shoes were in two different categories and they weren't really that similar at all. One is a daily trainer that you could do your tempo day miles in, and the other is a tempo day shoe that you could do your daily training miles in, which if you think about it, actually makes them a lot more similar than I originally thought. And now I think with the Novablast 4 and the Rebel V4, they are more similar than they ever have been. So that's why we're going to talk about this today. If you should buy the Novablast V4 or if you should buy the Rebel V4. We'll compare the uppers, the midsoles, the outsoles, the prices, and then hopefully at the end you can determine which shoe you would buy, and I'll tell you which shoe I would buy. Before we get started today, I do want to let you know that both of these shoes were sent to me by the brands Asics and New Balance. However, neither company is going to see this before you. They can't tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are always my own. And with that, let's start with the uppers. The Novablast 4 has an engineered woven upper. It's thicker, especially in that midfoot area. It's gonna have a bit more structure. It's more beefed up around the ankle collar and also has a sturdier heel counter. Now on the other side of things, the Rebel V4's upper is a very lightweight mesh. It's gonna be much more breathable, but in that midfoot, you're not gonna get a ton of structure other than that phantom fit technology that just helps to wrap you onto the platform. The ankle collar has less padding and the heel counter is sturdy, but it's not going to be as sturdy as the Novablast 4. In terms of fit, I had issues with both of these uppers, and that is due to the fact that I have a very narrow foot, and I felt like both of these shoes had a lot of material in the midfoot area, which caused me to have to cinch down the laces of both the Novablast 4 and the Rebel V4. Now, you probably won't have this issue if you have an average width foot or a wide foot. Certainly you won't have this problem, but it is something I wanted to flag. It didn't cause too many issues once I was able to cinch down the laces. I did still have some heel slipping in the Novablast 4, which was kind of annoying, but nothing that would deter me from running in this shoe. I didn't really experience any heel slipping though in the Rebel V4. I do like the fact that there's a bit more structure in the Novablast's upper. It's gonna be great for daily training, just more durable, and it doesn't get in the way when you do pick it up to tempo pace. But while the Rebel's upper is pretty minimal, once I get that phantom fit activated through the midfoot, I love the way that this upper feels. It just feels like it melts to my foot and vanishes, and I don't even think about it after that. Luckily, in both shoes, I didn't experience any hot spots, blisters, or irritation. I think I lean slightly to the Rebel here just because I love the way it feels once I am able to get that proper fit. The fact that it's lightweight, it's barely there, feels good on my foot. I like the fact that the Novablast's upper is probably going to be a bit more durable. I like the materials they used, but when I just think about feel, when I put feel at the top of my mind, the Rebel is the upper I would choose. All right, so let's move on down to the midsoles now. The Novablast 4 has their Flight Foam Blast Plus Eco material. It's actually pretty sustainable, which is cool, and it is also the lightest version of the foam to date. As you can see, it has a solid amount of cushioning, and it also has a really nice roll off the toe. In the Rebel V4 here, we are using a fuel cell foam, but this fuel cell is also updated from its previous version. This is going to be a PEBA/EVA blend. PEBA is the type of material that is used in many super shoes on the market, and they blended it with that EVA to give you a bouncier, more responsive ride, yet provide some of that protection and structure from the EVA. So I'll start this by saying both of these shoes are great for a variety of different types of runs. Both can go long, both can do tempo, and anything in between that. I gotta say, I really enjoy the Piba EVA blend of this Feel Cell foam. It's protective enough for those longer runs, and the Piba just sings when you want to take it a little bit faster. But I do like the fact that the Novablast has what feels like more cushioning, especially in that forefoot. One of the problems, or one of the dislikes I had with the Rebel, is that it feels a little bit like it needs a teeny bit more under the forefoot. And I actually did say that about the Novablast here, but when comparing these two shoes, it does feel like the Novablast has more forefoot cushioning than the Rebel. And some people might like that better, while this is a more lightweight, slightly more minimal option, I would say. When it comes to weight, the Rebel V4 is definitely lighter. It is 5.5 ounces for a women's size 8, while the Novablast is 7.9 ounces for a women's size 8. But I will tell you right here, right now, that holding both of these shoes in hand, this really doesn't feel that much heavier. Could you run a marathon in both of these shoes? Yes. Could you run a 5K in both of these shoes? Yes. But I think what it's going to come down to here, obviously, is personal preference and what you like to feel under your foot. This is so hard to pick because both of these midsoles are just super fun to run in. So I think because this has a little less in the forefoot, I'm going to lean towards the Novablast. I just feel like you can't really go wrong with either of these midsoles, and I'm excited for you guys to be able to try out the Rebel because I think you'll see what I mean. Turning these two shoes over and talking about outsoles, the Novablast has A6 Ahar low rubber, pretty much placed around the perimeter of the shoe with a little bit in the center of the forefoot. And in the Rebel here, we also have some high abrasion rubber in the forefoot, some exposed Feel Cell in the midfoot, and 2 pads of the rubber in the heel. I'd say these two outsoles are pretty equal in terms of traction. I don't have any issues with either of them. And since my videos in these shoes, I've taken the Rebel out on some icy, snowy days, and while it doesn't do great on ice, obviously it does fine otherwise. And the Novablast also has done pretty good. But I think time will tell on both of these rubbers which is the better one, and I think that this honestly is a tie. When it comes to price, the Novablast 4 is $140, and I believe when the Rebel V4 comes out in March, it will also be $140. So same exact price here. Obviously, the Novablast is currently available, so I'll link that down below so you can pick up your own pair. And once the Rebel becomes available, I will do the same thing down below. You can just click those links and pick up your own pair. Keep in mind, those links will be affiliate links with Running Warehouse. However, it doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can keep making these shoes. I mean, so I can keep making these videos. Oh boy, I did not make these shoes. Anyways, that brings us to our conclusion. Which of these shoes should you buy? And I think it's just gonna come down to what you like under your foot. In this moment in time, I think I may lean slightly towards the Novablast, just because I tend to like a little bit more structure and cushioning. But the Rebel V4 is a really good shoe that I have been loving picking up. But if someone said to me, you can only run in one of these shoes for the rest of your life, I'd probably pick the Novablast. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you gonna try to go for the Rebel? Are you gonna try to go for the Novablast? For those of you who have been wearing the Novablast recently, do you like it? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And while this was released in 2023, I feel like it's more of a 2024 shoe, and these are both great indications of what else is to come this year, 2024. Well, everyone, that concludes this video of which should you buy, the A6 Novablast 4 or the New Balance Rebel V4. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. But when it comes to looks, the Rebel wins every time. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next time. Maybe I should start making shoes. What do you think? Can make like the Emily Heller V1. No. Leave it to the professionals. All right, I guess. But I think it would be pretty cool.